week ago we put offense on the board in big plays. We were able to had 5 sustained drives between 9 and 12 plays. I just think that you showed we were a little bit of a two-fisted fighter. First of all, I appreciate you coming out here today. It was a day yesterday, and certainly getting everybody involved here up at Bridgewater, where we're doing a lot of good things. That's nice. I think people need to know that. And in this day and age, where sometimes I think Division III, we have to be our own publicist for the most part. I think this really helps us. Thank you for that. But I do think it was a big win, to go on the road and play a team that had been in the postseason the last 5 years and beat them. Something we're very proud of. But I always tell our kids in this business, you're looking the rearview mirror needs to be short. You can't really enjoy it long, though. It did make a 3.5-hour bus ride. Getting home at 2:15 in the morning wasn't so bad last night after a win.
How much of being able to control the tempo in the first half, especially having an experienced quarterback, somebody who's been around the block a couple of times, how much did that help in your calls of being able to pitch a shutout in the first half?
Well, I think anytime I was talking to volleyball coach Aaron, and I said, if your center's playing very well and controlling the tempo and getting the ball where it needs to go, it really just influences everybody else. And I think when I got a 22-and-a-half-year-old man, it's a fifth-year senior playing that position, and when you get that Division III and he's playing at a high level, it just influences everybody else. I do think running back had a great game. He's turned into one of those young guys that people want to block for because they know how hard he would run, and so we were able to be a little bit of a two-fisted fighter. I was told, Carl told me in the postgame up there last night that Stevenson had a string of 66 consecutive games where they had forced a turnover on the defensive side of the ball. And in 2 games, we have not turned the ball over once. And if you add explosion plays and you don't turn the ball over, you're going to have a chance to win most games in the fourth quarter.
For the second week in a row, Bridgewater College has the Defensive Player of the Week. Talk about the performance last night. Was it 12 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss from Rashawn Myers?
Actually, one of the guys at the game, there's a guy named Ira Kaminsky, who at one time was just a contact. He and I go way back, and he was a AP biology teacher at Miramar High School. And we got a lot of great players at one time, early in the 2000s out of Miramar High School, and Ira was up there for the game. His daughter was graduated from medical school at GW, and was actually a coach at Jermaine Taylor's in high school. And, after the game, Ira, he mentioned, he said, that guy's close, and he is. He's not maybe as fast as Jermaine is, but he's a little bit bigger. We used to use the term, it's an endearing term to a certain extent. We'd say that guy's kind of a war daddy. And what we mean by that is he just makes plays. And beyond that, he's a kid that works hard. I think if we can get him he's in very good shape, but he doesn't come off the field much. And what we had a rainstorm there in the third quarter, and it didn't cool things down. It actually got kind of steamy in the fourth quarter after that heavy rain came through. And we were all maybe dragging a little bit down the stretch, but certainly as the season goes on, he gets healthy. There's not a lot of 6', 238-pound linebackers who can run playing Division III football. And, Ray can make you a good coach.
We talked about you pitching a shutout in the first half. In the second half, Stevenson made a push, actually cut the lead twice on you. The composure your team held, though, on the road, a long trip, a long day against a really good football team, how they held it together and really didn't panic.
Well, I think the last thing I said to the team before we went out on the half, and the first half ended in a very good way. We went down and kicked a field goal. Our defense went out and stopped them. We used our timeouts, and we went got the ball with 76 yards from the end line with a minute 18 and 2 timeouts, and we said our goal was to get a field goal. We went down and scored, so that made it 23-0. But I told our kids, the last thing I told them, I said, look, this is a team that won 9 games a year ago. They're going to punch you in the second half. They're going to come back. And how you respond to that punch was critical. And I think particularly for our offensive group, they really stepped up big. When they cut it to 23-14, we had a long drive for a score. When they cut it to 30-22 and converted a 2-point conversion to turn it into a 1-possession game, they responded with a long play touchdown drive. And I think that's what good teams do. I mean, understand what needs to be done. I thought down the stretch a year ago, there were times we were down by 20 points at the half, and there really wasn't any panic. And I didn't see a lot of that yesterday on the sideline when Stevenson, who was a good team, was making plays. And hopefully that'll be the case because we're going to get challenged really on a weekly basis now as we move into the conference schedule.
When you go on the road, you don't get to take the full complement of your players, and a long trip, a day trip at that. Talk about how you broke the day down for your guys, and then was that a concern as you got in the late stages of the game of it's been a really long day for my guys?
Well, I think we get them up in the morning. I don't let them sleep. We'll get them up and we do some firelifting, we do some yoga, we do things to keep them active a little bit in the morning. We eat with them in the morning, and you're right, that was a trip. The guys at the Olive Garden did a great job. And by D3 standards, Olive Garden might be a 5-star restaurant. And, we went in there and they had us set up well, so we had a nice pregame meal on our way up there. And you're right, it was a long day, but we came out of the gates ready to play. And I do think that sometimes when you travel, you're right, I don't dress a lot of people. I got 64 people that all know they are a part of the game plan. And I think that sometimes on the road, I think this is probably in all sports, particularly those where your roster becomes a little more limited on the road. There's not a lot of distractions on the bus, and the people that are there with you are prepared to play. And so in that sense, it kind of played out, and we're going to have another challenge this week to do the same thing, going up to play a night game against Shenandoah. You
talked about not getting home until 2:15. How does that affect what you do on Sunday, and maybe even your Monday plans? How do you work that after getting in so late?
I helped Cindy with the laundry a little bit last night before I went home, so there's a group of sitting there working really hard. And so, anyway, we got home around 3 o'clock, so right now I'm dealing with about 5 hours sleep, but I would have been dealing with about 5 hours sleep if I had lost too. So I think sometimes when you win, adrenaline takes over, and I got up went to church and went to Betty Klein's birthday party at noon. Okay, we just turned 85 years old, so I've had a full day, and I got to go back and run a study hall after this. So I'm looking forward to it, and I do think this. We wear a lot of hats. When you're winning on Saturday, the hats become a little more comfortable to wear, and that's where we are right now. Knowing that we got a big challenge ahead of us. Shenandoah lost their first game to a hurricane cancellation, and they didn't make it down to Methodist. They won a big game on the road against North Carolina Wesleyan last weekend. So the idea that we're really dealing with a one-game breakdown against them. We had one game to analyze in our game last year, but they're be a changed football team, that they had to reboot their quarterback position. So in that sense, I'm not going to have to go back and analyze 4 films tonight. I've got one I got to try to get down, and then I'll bring our kids in at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that's when we meet and kind of bring this last game to bed, and then we got to move on. But we got an ID, and we've got to try to find a way to get better.
Yeah, they played 2 quarterbacks and threw for over 250 yards. So, Coach, best of luck. Thanks for taking time, and try to get a little more sleep tonight if possible.
It'll be good sleep. Might not be long sleep. It'll be quality sleep.
Football coach Michael Clark. Thank you very much.